All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be doing a video. We're going to be basically going over should you summon for the new Estarossa and what is his best gear set, etc., etc. I'll probably be doing a team guide video later on, but I'll probably do that when I actually pull the unit. I've been using him on my friend's account, Audie's, so shout out to him for letting me actually be able to use him and test him and kind of see what some really good teams are. I don't know the exact best team, so that's why I'm gonna wait till he drops on global, and hopefully I can play test him with him some more. But I've been watching pretty much every single video I can from Sora, Marilli, Speedy on what teams they use, and I'm trying to see what works. And yeah, overall he has a very busted kit. If you don't know, the only downside is he's somewhat squishy, especially like Rimuru and whatnot. But you can still tank if you use the best gear set for him. And that kind of gives away exactly what gear set it is. In my opinion, I think the best set is HP crit, but if you don't have him completely maxed out, I would kind of say HP defense, because that way he's more tankier, and you have more CC for going first. So if your team CC sucks, I highly recommend HP defense, so that way he can at least survive that first turn. And then if your CC really sucks, then use evade food or something along those lines, because you need him to live. If he lives past turn 1, then you can kind of either stance up behind a Chandler taunt or maybe a Droll taunt even, or just try to get as much lifesteal back as possible, so that way you can top up your Estarossa. But yeah, we're gonna be going through his kit, and let's hop right on in. So darkness, his attribute is a blue. He's a demon, obviously, and he has a cool cutted. Okay. His passive, Berserking Darkness. It applies 1 stack of darkness on enemy whenever a demon race, ally, or commandment deals damage. If you hit King Shield or they have evasion food, the darkness does not proc. So Valenti King teams are actually pretty clutch. If you go first, because I mean, I don't know if you can actually go first with that team, because Valencia has pretty bad CC, if I do remember. But if you have evasion food or something, you might be able to just survive through the attack, so that way they can't apply a bunch of darkness on you. I fought one, and it took me quite a while to get through it. I'm not gonna lie, it's actually pretty darn tanky. But yeah, that's just one option. You might be able to run King, Valenti, Gale Thunder, or some sort of tank in the back, and then Diane, so that way you can taunt up, they get less damage. Or you could even use a different stance, I don't know, maybe Chandler, I guess, but I guess Diane is damage reduction, so I think that would actually work a bit better. When there are 4 more stacks of darkness, applies encroachment, which is the best thing about Estarossa. If you didn't have encroachment, I think he would be good, but not absolutely cracked. This debuff is so gross. Encroachment decreases all stats by 40%, removes darkness when the effect is removed or unstackable. So it only lasts for 1 turn, and it'll remove all darkness. So if you apply this, you have to kill, otherwise you're going to have to reapply it. In addition, for every darkness, which darkness increases damage received by 10%, max of 5 stacks. So you get an extra 50% damage, and it pairs really well with his spin attack. It increases all allies' basic stats by 5% up to 10 times. So you get more basic stats. I didn't know this for the longest time. But then I remember fighting one, and they were super tanky, and I was super confused, why? But then once the global patch notes dropped or whatever, then I could actually see that this is why. He got super tanky because the guy was HP defense Estarossa, and he's basically Lilia. Because the more debuffs, the gray debuffs you apply, the more damage you do, and that's how Lilia absolutely pops off. So I definitely think that HP defense or HP crit is the best one. HP defense for Lilia, because she never crits, but if you get the encroachment, Estarossa usually always crits. So Dark Leap, this is his best card. The Flood card does well, but you have to have encroachment, otherwise it's just a very mediocre attack in my opinion. Dark Leap, 50% increased damage per darkness on the target, so I believe it can apply 4 darkness, and then the encroachment, so I believe it goes up an extra 200%, absolutely cracked, and then decreases all stats by 40%, absolutely cracked. Inflicts Dark Leap at damage equal to 200% of attack on one enemy, all the way going up to 500%, which this literally one-shots any unit in the game from what I've seen, unless they don't have any darkness. If you use this card on a unit without any darkness, you are throwing away cards. You are literally just throwing a rank up and you're like disabled. That's basically what's happening. It's so bad unless they have like 2 or more darkness. That's when it really starts to build up. It's kind of like an amplify unit, where some units just like do no damage, like Assault Meliodas. Like if he has 2 stacks, he does nothing. But once he hits like 3 or 4, he starts popping off. That's kind of what it is in my opinion. And then he has Flood. You know, just more HP on your unit, more percentage of HP, not actual like max HP like Bond. Just percentage of HP is how much more damage you do. Fairly obvious. We've had this thing like 200 times in the game now. And then we have his Commandment, which is actually pretty cool. I really like it because it kind of kills off some of the amplified teams, which are really annoying, but they can still do well. His commandment is when a hero uses a skill, removes 1 buff on the hero, applies to both allies and enemies when entering battle. What I wish they would do, because I can never remember which buff it removes, I wish if you clicked a card like, let's say, you're facing a Rimuru, and you would click the stance card for like Matrona or Droll. I wish it would show what buff it would be removing. It'd be a really nice quality of life update, so that way I can like strategically buff or stance up in a certain way, so that way I don't remove my stance. You know, that way it's like flashing. It's like this buff is gonna get removed because they clicked this card or because of his passive. Something. It's just a lot to remember, especially because it removes 1 buff, and I never remember which way it goes. I don't know. That's just a me thing. I can never remember. And then the most sketchy thing about his kit is his ultimate. This thing is completely worthless unless you have encroachment on everyone below 3/6. If you get it up to 3/6, it does decrease defense by 20%. At 5/6, it decreases basic stats by 20%. I did not know that it had a 5 ultimate gate or level 5 decrease. Okay. And then at 6 out of 6, it decreases basic stats by 30%. And then it has resonance, which is pretty good, but it just decreases all attacks by 20% for 3 turns and inflicts resonance damage equal to 380% of attack on all enemies at 1 out of 6, and resonance is plus 15% damage for every buff, debuff, and stance on the target. So it goes all the way to up to an extra 40%. So if you have encroachment, this shit is going to hit like 200 bajillion damage. It's just that simple. And he has really good stats all the way around, to be honest, except they always have to give some 0 for some reason. Like, why no regen? I don't know. But like his lifesteal is pretty good. Does he have a lifesteal link? He does not. That's kind of weird. Okay. I would think he would have like a Zeldris link, to be honest, because then it would be really good. Lifesteal with Flood would be really cracked, I'm not gonna lie. But maybe that's why they put that there. Now we're gonna go for the worst part about the entire thing. The only 2 good units on this banner, realistically, is Estarossa, Margaret, and then I guess Zeldris, because they're a really good backline unit, but realistically, you're not going to be happy if you pull a Zeldris, honestly. Like, I just don't. Chandler is pretty good. Glox is pretty good with Estarossa. I was saying Glox is good, and people roasted me for it, but like, bro, Glox is really good. He's a really good unit. I'm probably going to be maining him whenever I do Estarossa videos, because I genuinely do like Glox, and he's fairly built. I pretty much have all my demons built except for like Monspeed. I think he's the only demon, and actually Gallant as well. Actually, I think Gallant's level 90, but like the banner is just atrocious. They're all 0.25 across the board. Estarossa isn't even 0.5. I wish they would do that with every single fest banner. They should be 0.5 guaranteed. Like, come on now. Like, and then 900 gems to secure 1. Like Sora, he had to go 1.5 rotations to actually pull 1 off of the banner. I'm 420 gems in and I haven't pulled anything. I'm just gonna save unless the person that I'm talking to that wants to buy this account wants to go all in for Estarossa. Then I guess I'll pull. But yeah, in my opinion, if you're free to play, you should go at least 1/6. He is a massive DPS. His ultimate doesn't matter, to be honest, because you're gonna kill it regardless. And that's why I think he's a very good unit. But just wait. I would say, if you're free to play, wait until we see what Zeldris is, because if you don't have enough gems to pity these 2, and Zeldris that is leaked in 2 weeks time, which the leaker has been right on the past like 10 banners, so I'm gonna safely assume it's gonna be Zeldris. Ominous Nebula Zeldris in about 2 weeks, 1 week on JP about. If he's an absolute support for Estarossa, or maybe he's even somehow better than Estarossa. I doubt it, but who knows? They could be weird and make it like a King Lilia thing, because Estarossa is kind of like King. He's a really big damage dealer. He's not the tankiest unit. I just think blue units are really squishy. I don't know. It's just kind of squishy. But King was an absolute meta unit, and then Lilia came out, and then Trader Melly, and then Rimuru, and he was basically gone. King is basically gone out of the meta. Unless you go first, it's just like unlucky. But I think he's still a must summon for 1/6. Unless you want to see what the Zeldris banner is, of course. Like, the Zeldris banner could be absolutely cracked. I'm thinking it's going to have a really good banner, but a really solid unit. Not a meta unit like Estarossa, with Estarossa having a bad banner. I think that's going to be the duality of those two. So, yeah. Let me know down below if you guys are going to be summoning. I'm going to be going 1/6. Might buy cosmetics. Probably going to buy them, because buying them with gems are really cringe and shit. But yeah, I'm not really excited for the unit. I don't really care. I'm going to be using Ragnarok Diane, and I'm going to be pummeling Estarossa under the ground. But yeah, take care. Hope you guys have an amazing day, and peace out.